I'm fairly convinced that there's some cosmic drummer providing the backbeat to the tiny universe called the Cutting Room Movie Podcast. Though yes, we do program individual shows thematically, we don't have any overarching plan concerning the movies that we cover from one show to the next over a season. And yet, it seems to me beyond a doubt that recurring themes tie clusters of our conversations together, spanning many weeks and sometimes months, as if we're just having one giant orchestrated dialogue. Okay, maybe it's mere coincidence, or maybe I read too much into things like, for example, Spring Breakers sparking a heated debate about youth culture on one show and then having What's Up Rockers and Suburbia signed to us in the immediately following episode. Voila, ongoing theme. We take turns programming these shows, so there's no TCRMP mastermind with some grand scheme or plot in mind. But there it is all the same, as if there's something, some weird higher intelligence maybe, providing the beat and the heart of this little podcast. I'm mentioning this because it struck me that Kelly Reichardt's 2014 film Night Moves is the exact answer to some of the questions I raised when talking about the trash movie Death Wish in our revenge-themed show a few episodes back. I was uneasy when I wrote that review because of how beloved the thing has become, and I don't mean to harp on it here again, nor did I intend to compare these two vastly different pictures, but something has thrown it into my path and I can't help but step around it again, like a pile of shit. So, I critiqued Death Wish for being a one-dimensional portrayal of the act of revenge, and in so doing, I made the case that it was stupidly advocating violence and vigilantism as a solution to a difficult and complex problem. Yes, I gave it more serious thought than it deserved, but I thought it was posing serious answers to serious questions. Thanks to one of our YouTube listeners, I've since come to know that the director of that film, Michael Winner, is a staunch Thatcherite, and so my suspicions of the filmmaker's dumb right-wing agenda were implicitly confirmed. But the point is that Reichardt's film stood as proof, in my head anyway, that a story is made richer, more enjoyable, and simply better by a realistic, psychologically nuanced portrayal of the act of vigilantism and those who carry it out, even if it's not as successful as the box office. Night Moves shows us the tribulations of three amateurs as they seek revenge on soul-sucking, earth-ravaging, greed-driven corporate culture at large by blowing up one small dam in particular as a way to, quote, make their statement, unquote. The film is wonderfully acted by Jesse Eisenberg, Dakota Fanning, and Peter Sarsgaard as the hapless environmental activist turned vigilante. But what endows the picture with its power is the verisimilitude with which Reichardt constructs her scenes. What makes it a wonderful film is the realism, the actuality of how the process of blowing something up unfolds, and how the results in the real world can never quite be predicted or controlled by planning howsoever carefully. Her films, as we'll talk about over the next two shows, are invariably quiet meditations on how real-life humans behave and react in real-life situations. Their pacing is slow and methodical, and, like life itself, the meanings of the lives on screen envelope you like fumes and hold you in their sway before you realize it had been happening, and they always leave you with more questions than answers. And that's what Reichardt does, what makes her film so powerful. They ask questions of you. They don't force upon you easy answers. In contrast to her previous work, such as Old Joy and Wendy and Lucy, she's leaning slightly toward genre with Night Moves, here the thriller genre. Behold the Hitchcockian ticking bomb in the central scene. So the pacing has a bit more thrust than her usual type of project, but her trademark meditation and deliberation is the gravity of the film. It's her understanding of the banality of reality that had me rising with vindication at one moment and then feeling my stomach drop with dread the next. It's a really simple construction, but really effective, because the awkward process of trying to buy something someone doesn't want to sell you is so convincingly realistic. Suddenly, in the following scenes, having a murder on your hands feels just as real as by association. Now, if this were my usual epic introduction to a film, I'd whip up a froth of the main themes of it. I'd passionately eviscerate the subject of corporate culture and those who seem helpless before its thrashing machine, and what might be done about it. What can be learned by the folly of the main characters in Night Moves, and the alternative example set by the co-op farmers that Eisenberg character lives with. But alas, I've been intensely preoccupied in the days leading up to this recording, and so I've decided to spare you and my co-hosts here my expansive pontifications. The discussion that will follow is time much better spent in any event. So I'll just say that I'd bet the farm that Reichardt has political leanings to the left, just as Michael Winner, the director of Death Wish, has leanings to the right. But what makes her films infinitely better, what makes her a better filmmaker, a better human being in my estimation, what makes this film so much superior to a film like Death Wish, even if not as money-making as it, is her willingness to consider the other side. to investigate and show us the ugly reality of vigilantism and its likely effects on the public, and indeed on the vigilante himself. Her ability and willingness to put aside her pride and indeed her beliefs to show us how wrong-headed it is to right a wrong with another wrong, how ridiculous it is to use violence to push forth an ideology, even if it's an ideology that you believe is just.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing about what she's doing here in this film, Joe. And I'm really glad that you really hit that on the head there. Is that what's going on here is that, yes, there's this horrible act by a horrible corporation that, it needs to be righted, but it needs to be righted by another right, I guess. And what we see here is pure vigilantism, and it's, and she, I'll tell you what, I mean, they're the bad guys in this.
Yeah, and that's amazing because that this filmmaker understands what they're doing, and this filmer is not pro-corporation, you know what I mean?
Not at all.
So, not at all.
It's a really smart, calculated piece of work. It's extremely well written. It's excellently directed. It's really different, and it's really slow, and it's all about human emotion. It's what it's all about. And I'm going to say this right now before we even get started over the next 2 weeks. She, like, when it comes down to brass tacks with her, she's just like Michael Haneke.
Yeah, I kind of,
that's what I get at her when I'm watching these movies. Particularly when I moved to this one. Now, I watched the Old Joy first. We're going to talk about that next week. But I moved it into Night Moves, and it hit me. I'm like, wow. I mean, this is something right out of the Haneke library. It really is. I mean, it's all about the human. It's all about
like how people actually react in these situations, as opposed to like in a typical thriller. There's certain things that happen, and you expect one thing to lead to the next quickly, but that's not. It's not what this is about.
The most exciting thing about this movie is not like the explosion or even the what you refer to as like a Hitchcockian countdown with the time bomb. That's not the most exciting thing. The most exciting thing is, and just like in a Michael Haneke movie, is like the last 20 minutes when everything has played out a little bit, and you're wondering where it's going to take a character or characters. And you're left with uncertainty. Where you have to, as a viewer, you have to think. You have to sit there and you have to think about what has been done, what is going on at that exact moment toward the end, and where it might take that person.
Yeah.
And excuse me, and it's interesting to me, and this is something that we've been discussing a lot, I think, this season, is the lingering effect of a film. And what's not exciting, and I'll be the first to admit it, what's not exciting is to sit down and watch a Kelly Reichardt film. It's extremely unexciting. And it's the same thing with Michael Haneke a lot of the times. Right. The piano teacher is it's a dread to sit through. It really is. But it's brilliant, and it has that lingering effect because to me, all of these films are at their best over the next 2 or 3 days when you're not watching them and you're thinking about them. And that, to me, is interesting filmmaking, Joe.
Well, it's good filmmaking for sure, Tom. I'm glad that you brought that up, man. Especially what's the Haneke film with the old people? Amor? Yeah, exactly like that. So
that movie. I can see her making that movie. And because they're dealing with a lot of the same themes, and they're telling the story in a very slow-paced, very humanistic way. And this is something that most films,
because it's just as interesting to see, the hero have to cope and deal with the situation and not have it being what the situation is or how they're interpreting it. But you looking at them and trying to understand what they're going through.
Right.
Yeah, and trying to understand what they're going through, because that's what drama is.
The best scene in Night Moves is when this is what says it all in this movie to me. And this is, to me, was...
I know what you're going to say.
When they're driving away.
Yes.
The tarp is on in the back of the truck, so you don't see a forward progress with them moving forward. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're stuck there, and they're all stuck there, and they'll continue to be stuck there. They won't be able to get past what they just did. And there's that little.
That's a great point,
There's
Tom.
that little subtle, and she does it. See, you think that she's like boring the hell out of you, but she's doing. And Haneke does the same thing. Sometimes I say, well, he doesn't do.
No, but that's the most interesting thing if you could get around it.
If you can get around it, it's not easy.
Yeah. No,
it's
I know.
not easy, but there are these little things that she plants here and there, and it's very tough. It's very tough to get through. But the reward is there if you're willing to sit through it, and if you allow yourself to think about it, there's reward there.
And pay attention to it, and don't feel and let go of your expectations about what a bombing movie is. You know what I mean? And that's it. And what says it all is right in that scene that you were talking about. You never see an explosion.
No,
you hear it off the screen, and all you see is their reactions or their non-reactions.
And they're moving away from it, but you don't see the road in the back. Where like every other director will give you the road, they'll give you the forward progress. She doesn't do that, and that is extraordinary filmmaking.
Yeah, she doesn't even give you the smoke in the background.
Nothing.
Right. And that takes a lot of discipline and conviction to do something like that.
And that was probably budgetary, about half budgetary that she couldn't do the explosion. But I like as an aesthetic choice, that's
great. Like it could be even if it's all budgetary. You got to come up with some way to work around that. You got to come up with ideas. That's your job as a filmmaker.
You have to give that explosion weight when you're not looking at it.
The thing is that it's never about the looking at a fucking explosion. It's about what caused the explosion and how would it affect someone that might have caused or been part of the explosion, not the actual fucking explosion.
Like the characters are past it even when they're setting the timer. Like they're beyond it.
Man.
At that point.
Yeah, I mean it's really so.
And that's why I hate to like harp on it or whatever, bring it up, but that's exactly what I was trying to get at. What I was talking about in that introduction there was with Death Wish, how much better a film it would be if you saw the effects on that person more. You look at, instead of getting feeling the excitement of him blowing away those. I know Max loves the feels it, but and look, I like it too to an extent. But the point is just that it's better filming. It's a better experience, a film experience, if you could see the effects that it has on the victims and what actually happens, because that's really interesting stuff.
Absolutely.
That's the hardest stuff.
Absolutely. Jeff, you brought Kelly Reichardt here to the table. You assigned us 3 movies here. We're all going to get a chance to speak a little bit about it. Joe just did Night Moves. Max is doing Old Joy next week. I'm going to do Meek's Cutoff. Let's just talk to Jeff real quick, guys, about why Kelly Reichardt and why did you think it would be either interesting or even not interesting to us?
So I got into her through Meek's Cutoff. Maybe 3 years ago, I think I saw it, and then I watched a couple of the other ones right after that. And I thought it would be good for the show because it's so challenging, potentially challenging to to watch and accept what she's doing. Especially I thought about Max's sort of aversion to quiet stuff.
Right.
It was that would be interesting to hear what's something I love. I love, I really love these movies, and I wanted to see how they affect everyone else. If everyone's seeing the same thing that I am.
Right.
And what, and like Joe was saying, one of the great things about her is the questions that she leaves you with, other than the solution. So it's
all 3 of these films.
Yes,
she does the same thing. There's no doubt about that, and it's fascinating, and it's not I don't know, and it's not pushed either the way she's doing it. I don't feel that it's a gimmick or it's lazy. It's
really subtle.
It is.
No, it's real subtle.
It's very subtle. So let's get Max in. Max, we haven't seen Max in a few episodes. It's good to have him back. Max Cook, how the hell are you, dude?
You are all fired up tonight, Tom.
I am. I got a lot going on, man. I got to tell you, a lot of happiness coming from Tom Detloff lately.
Well, what's one thing that's making you happy?
Well, I'll let you know, but then I'm going to let you know. You can ask me about it later, but we're going to get into Kelly Reichardt with you first. But I would like to let everybody know I'm very happy because, as most of you know, if you've listened to the show, if you're just a friend of mine or whatever, my mother was adopted, and we about a little over a week ago have discovered our natural family, her family. And it's a very exciting time for me to have lived 40 years and to not known half my family is I mean, it's an extraordinary experience right now, just meeting and talking to a lot of uncles and cousins and all kinds of other family members, so it's really cool.
That is extraordinary, Tom, and I'm very happy for you. But if I found out that I had other people with my blood in them, I would head for the hills. So that's great. So you're telling me that none of these people are hateful, annoying, or disgusting?
Is that they're very upbeat, they're very happy, they are very positive. I don't know where all this is coming from because I am the exact opposite, I think. Particularly in Jeff and I are brothers, and we have the same father. Our father's side of the family is what, Jeff? I mean, extremely negative, right?
Yeah.
Beyond belief.
Not a lot of
it's
joy allowed.
Yeah, it strangles you. My father, they strangle you. They really do. They get up in you, and they just, they don't let you have any joy about anything that you're doing in life. They just want to bring it down, and to have that go on for 4 decades is crazy. But then to meet these people who are polar opposite of that is pretty exciting for me. I mean, really exciting.
Does your mom's parents who adopted her, do they know about this?
No, they're both dead.
Oh, I'm glad that your mom waited until they were dead.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think she really moved forward with it after her adopted mom died.
Yeah.
But it's been the past 5 years, she's really, really kicked up the search and the interest big time. And not that she wasn't always searching. And here's the thing that they had been searching too the whole time, because they were completely aware, starting from the 80s, that she was given up for adoption. Now, she was given up for adoption because her father and mother, at the time she was born, were about a year before, were split up, and they were having difficulties. And her father thought that she was not she was not his daughter, that the mother was having an affair, which turned out to be completely and entirely untrue. That he is the father. She's obviously.
That's a crazy story, man.
I don't mean to cut it in on the Kelly Reichardt stuff here, guys. Max did ask, and it's and we'll be able to talk about it over the next couple episodes here and there and stuff, because I'm very excited. I don't mind talking about it. I'm sure Max is going to want to ask me a million questions about it. So
yeah, but Tom, you sound like you're coked out. Is the euphoria because you have a bunch of new members of a family that you actually like? Why are you so?
Before I answer that question, Joe, do I sound any different to you?
You do sound enthusiastic.
I'm enthusiastic. I am not coked up. Trust me. I am. Been a while since I've coked up.
It's unnerving how fired up you are, though. And is it because of how great
Max,
these
is it
people
bumming
are?
you out that he's in a good mood?
No. I'm just trying to understand.
I think maybe it depresses you when other people are happy.
Not true.
Is that theory way off base, Max? Honestly,
no.
When you see other people happy, does it bum you out, or
Absolutely
do you get like?
Not. It's not true.
Okay.
Joe. I'm just trying to understand.
I think you might be onto something, Joe, because he really gets on Adam for being happy. Like, everything with Adam with Max is everything's just great.
And then you would know more than I do, Tom, about like on Facebook, like he gets all mad when people are happy about their kids or their pets or something.
And everything with Max is like, it's always apocalyptic. It's always what do you say? Like, it's like trash on the ground. It's people throwing out, like people who throw out their furniture. I could only imagine where this dirty furniture has been doing for 10 years.
All right, so I'm gonna give an over/under for how long it takes for Max to try to bum Tom out and make him feel bad.
So it's true. He is on a mission tonight. he will do it.
Trying to understand what is so great about these people.
The Powells?
The Powells.
The Powells.
Okay, so how many dinners have we had? Is the food good? Is the conversation engaging?
I've not. Here's the thing. I mean, I've just started to meet them on the phone. They live in. They don't live in New Jersey, Max. So
you're this excited and you haven't met them in person?
Yeah, because I'm going to. I've been talking to them. Like, yes, it's exciting. Max, I've had a whole normal. Here's the thing. My life has been complete and total fucking dysfunction, and these people are normal. And all my life, I've been watching. Hold on.
Okay.
I've been watching, and listen.
You can't be so excited that you.
No, listen. As dysfunctional as your shit was, Joe, I'm sure, or whoever. Listen, my level of dysfunction, it's different.
No. I'm just saying. Listen, don't put nobody's normal. Let's just put it like that. I mean, you're setting yourself up for something.
Listen, I get that, Joe.
You know what I mean? I don't know them. I don't even know who you're talking about, but I just know from people. Look, there are a lot of good people out there, but everybody's
Jeff, you know that in our family, it's like there's that, and then there's everything else. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, I guess.
Yeah. You know what, Tom? That's great, but this is a show, and you can't. The idea is you got different personalities here. No, clearly Joe and I don't know what the fuck's going on.
He's a little.
That's great that you guys know.
You are right. He's throwing off here.
What?
I got him on the ropes.
Who's on the ropes?
You are. I got you on the ropes, Max.
I am. I think so. I'm just trying to understand.
I think Joe is right. I think you're a little bit thrown off here. I think
no. I think I'm thrown off because I'm trying to understand what's happening here. I'm trying to get the story, and people that listen to the show may not understand what's happening here. You've explained it, which is great, but I'm trying to understand where all the excitement's coming from. That's all. I'm not trying to bring you down. I'm totally happy for you if you're happy. It's not true that I don't want people to be happy.
We got that out. Can you talk to me about Kelly Reichardt?
Sure.
Some night moves. Give our listeners a little something.
I'm just bewildered. Well, I don't understand Joe's comparing pulpy trash from the 70s to this movie. I mean, that didn't make any sense.
That's a little bit, but I understand what he's saying. I think it was a reach, Joe. I do hear what you're saying.
All right. Well, I did. Okay. I had to.
Can I finish a single sentence, Tom, without you cutting me off? I'm glad you're excited, but my God, man, you're filibustering. Let's just have a conversation. That's all I'm asking. Do you want to know what I think about this woman as a filmmaker?
Yes.
I think she's fantastic, and I'm really surprised by it. And I got to tell you, she's asking a lot of the viewer. And you know what? I appreciate that. Like, I'm sitting here ready to pull my eyes out of my socket. Like, why is this so murky and slow? And who are these fucking people? And why do I care? Listen, Joe, what is the difference between a vigilante and a terrorist? I think they're totally different things.
I don't know. Well, okay, so they're seeking revenge. They think that they're victimized by the corporation, and it's an act of vigilantism, basically. Revenge.
No, it's an act of terrorism. How is it an act of vigilantism? They're eco-terrorists. They're destroying something. You know, I mean, this is a whole other facet of terrorism that, like, is scary to me. Like, I think it's something that's unmined, especially in movies. That's another thing that was really so exciting.
I understand what you're saying, Max, because like to be a vigilante, you are fighting crime with crime, basically.
Yeah, you're taking the law into your own hands.
Which is what they're doing. I think that
they're not. But the terrorism here in this movie, what they're doing, the crime here in this movie, what is going on is they're not. The people that they're causing the bomb, those people aren't criminals, so it's not vigilante.
Or the corporation's not criminal? I'm sure that they feel. Well, I'm sure that these people feel like they've been victimized by those.
Of course, but they're not committing any lawful crimes.
I mean, I understand the point. It's a bit of.
It's also a matter of perspective too. I mean, if you're one of the people at that documentary screening, like you're going to consider them vigilantes, criminals. And like. No, I'm saying the the main characters. You're gonna say that they're vigilantes in a positive way, as like Batman's a vigilante, like that.
Right. I do think that's similar. I think it's a bit of semantics, but okay, I understand the point, though.
And also the scale, I think, is you could argue that the scale is different between vigilante and terrorist.
Yeah, and I think Max is just kind of thrown off that Charles Bronson was brought into this.
Yeah, but the point is that it's it just reminded me of the same things that I was talking about and why, and how that if you take an actual look of the realism of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a similar situation in my opinion. Someone's taking the law or being violent, taking it upon themselves to enact violence that they think is just, and it's just two different views of it. And it was a way for me to enter this film and see and try to understand what makes it so powerful.
It's an art film. Death Wish is garbage.
Yeah, and that's what I said. That's basically what I said. Yeah.
Fueled catharsis.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I got to tell you guys, the most incredible scene, and I watched it. I think because I had to rent this one on DVD, so I think I watched this scene 4 times.
Okay.
Where Lou Temple comes out of nowhere as the wandering camper, and the terrorists, the eco-terrorists, are sitting at the picnic table making sandwiches. And he's like, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's beautiful out here, ain't it?" And Skarsgård does not say a fucking word to that dude.
It's great.
And it sent chills up my spine. You're waiting and waiting for him to say something. And they are leaving that dude hanging.
Yeah.
And at that moment that yes.
Max can't take it. Go ahead. He's just having a dialogue with you, Max. Go ahead. Keep going.
I just knew at that moment that those people are going to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. It strikes me as like the army going into some foreign territory and sort of like not even acknowledging those people as human beings. Like they're so far.
Yeah.
Into their mission that like this person doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's interesting, and that I totally forgot about that scene for some reason, Max. Jeez, because I remember
she's really good attention.
Yeah, totally. And by the way, guys, I love Skarsgård. Love him.
Yeah, I do.
And this really put me over the top with him. Now, I always appreciated him, really, and he's been, he's on my mind sometimes, like when I watch a movie, but like he's done some really good stuff. And like where he really stood out for me before this was that movie about the reporter who makes up shit, Stephen Glass movie, Shattered Glass. This dude, Skarsgård, is amazing in this movie. He takes a part it's nothing and he makes it into something. And he is just a sensational. I mean, they're all good. Fanning, Eisenberg, all 3 of them are really good. James LaGrosse pops up. That scene at the when she's trying to buy the whatchamacallit, the freaking
the fertilizer.
Great scene, man.
Yeah,
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's a really good. Just all these like little things in her movies. It's so amazing to me, guys. Like when you're just doing these.
Or buying that boat was another great scene.
Yeah, but how do you make that so powerful and interesting when it's
just so real? You know what?
That's what
I read in it, or I was listening to an interview with her earlier today, and she was saying how she does heavy scouting, and I was like, what? Because everything happens in the same area of the country in Oregon. She was just saying how even though she always ends up filming basically, in the same area of the country, she goes around the country looking at so many different types of like hot springs for Old Joy and for every movie. And she's just like, you go and you find these actual places and they bleed into, like, you can't predict what you're going to find during that research. And they end up making the film seem so real because you can add little details and stuff that you couldn't get. And she was saying that she teaches film. And that one of the things that she tells her students is Google is not research. If you want to research the way that it feels to be, at a dam and, take a boat to a dam and put a bomb on it, get a boat, figure out where to put it in the water, what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Those are the things that inform her. And so like stuff like like, okay, so she was like, I was scouting a location for a house, she was saying, and she came across a guy. He's like, oh, what movie, what kind of movie are you gonna make? She's like, oh, environmental terrorism. And the guy's like, I love environmental and terrorism, you know. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah. She's like, how would you go about building a bomb? And then he tells her, and then all of a sudden you have this scene with this person trying to figure out how to build a bomb and get 500, you know, and all the real problems that happen. So like in another like thriller movie, you know, they don't care about how they get the shit to make the bomb. They, you know, one scene they say they're gonna have a bomb, the next scene they have a bomb. You know what I mean?
Right,
and
right.
That's just what makes the like her style of filmmaking so fucking great.
It's not cartoon at all, man.
It's the reality, and she puts that shit into her films, and that's what makes it so just so great to watch.
Well, I'm really impressed with this girl, and it was a real. I mean, it was an honor to watch these movies because I've never heard of her before, and I've never watched Wendy and Lucy or. I never watched Old Joy, and and I'll talk about Meek's Cutoff later and my experience with that because I have been aware of Meek's Cutoff for a while, but we'll talk about that when Meek's Cutoff is on the table because it's really, really funny, and I will apologize later for it. But
Tom, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, do it.
Now you postponed this show a day because you wanted to watch opening day of baseball. So how did that go?
Oh, it was really nice. I mean, to me that day, and you know, anybody that knows me very well, is like a national holiday. I really like to just stop everything and watch the Met game, and then I like to watch the other games throughout the day. I literally watched baseball from about 1 p.m. till around, I guess, midnight-ish.
Okay, so what's so great about baseball?
It's just so, you know, I was really good at it when I was a kid. So I think
you played baseball.
Oh yeah, I was.
Oh,
good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your position?
I pitched. I played first base, and then when I got older, I played the outfield, and I could hit very well. I mean, I was good at it. I mean, I was really good at it. So I understood the game at a very young age, probably more than other people did. I like obsessively collected baseball cards, and I enjoyed statistics. When I wasn't playing baseball at night, when I was stuck in my room, I would play baseball games with my baseball cards. Like I'd create a stadium in my room with the books as the fence, and you know, I'd have lineups, and I'd have a whole league, and I'd keep all track with this on pen and paper. And I was, it was very obsessed with that kind of stuff. So I mean, I just loved it. I think I spent most of my youth obsessed with baseball, like honestly, and it carried on to my adulthood. It's the only sport I watch. I mean, in the past I've watched football and other things, but I don't watch any of that stuff anymore. I just watch baseball. I have a deep respect for it. It's a beautiful sport. It's the national pastime. It's as American as anything could be.
Right.
And I appreciate that, you know, honestly. So
you are bouncing off the walls. You're excited about new family. You're excited about baseball. Who am I to take you down? I will say this, though.
Spring has sprung, Max.
I will say this, though.
Oh, here's another good thing, too. In a month and 4 weeks, I'm going to see The Replacements.
Wow.
On top of that. So I'm, you know.
Tom reached out to us, Joe and Jeff, and said, hey, you guys mind if we move it to the next day because I got the game? How did you guys feel about that? Did you care?
Well, I got I didn't know why we were removing it until after I had agreed to it.
Wait, what?
So what does that mean, Jeff? You were like, "Come on, dickhead."
Well, you know, I felt like I got like tricked, you know, to rearrange my schedule because of the sports.
So you were a little disappointed, Jeff.
Like if it was a work thing or something, you know, I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. But
no, the priority is the show. So
Jeff, come on, help me out here, buddy.
Shitty fucking baseball game.
Don't fall for it, Jeff.
It's all bullshit.
What time was the Mets game?
Oh, it was on at 4 p.m.
Okay. Oh, what was it at? Like 7? It was over.
7:30.
All right. Yeah. So we, you know, probably could have just bumped it.
Yeah, but
back like an hour.
They got DVRs. Yeah, you have a DVR there, Tim?
But listen, we're having a really great time right now.
No, I'm just wondering what the priorities are in life. So the priority is Major League Baseball versus the cutting room.
You could try, Max. You ain't gonna get me mad tonight, dude.
Joe, what do you think?
In regard to how I felt about
rearranging for Major League Baseball.
Yeah. At first I didn't care, but then it really did come and bite me in the ass because today I had to fucking drive back and forth to Long Island. I've been on the road for 5 hours, and that's why I only wrote. It's been a trying time. So I was like, I wasn't thrilled about it.
Were you going to near Long Island or far Long Island?
Mid Long Island. It's just, it's been a hell of a day. So it would have worked out better for me yesterday, but
come on, guys, come on.
No, Tom, it's great. I'm so happy you enjoyed your game. America's pastime. It's really awesome, man.
I had a good time. Adam and I shared a couple of really fun baseball texts yesterday.
He's dragging Adam into Hey, man, I totally understand, man. Fuck the cutting room. It's all about baseball, baby. The American dream, man.
Tom, what is your priority? Would you say that? Where would you put the cutting room?
The cutting room is
like
not
in priority in your
What is
life.
that? Come on, guys.
In your life. Let me just seriously. Where would you rank it in your life?
What the fuck?
Now who's on the ropes?
What the ropes?
You're on the
Compared
ropes,
to what, Joe? Compared to what? Like,
I'm just saying, work, family.
Yeah,
it's definitely under those two.
All these conversations we have about you and doing your thing, and I'm like, we had this whole blog conversation, and you put the Detloff Diaries on the website.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I got something coming.
You didn't work on it. You sat on your ass and you watched fucking baseball.
Yeah, for one day.
You postponed the show
for one day. Listen, I'm taking notes on this family experience. I'm gonna be writing something about it. Don't come at me. You're not bringing me down, dude. Okay?
I'm not out to bring you down.
I know what reality is. I know what the Tom Detloff reality is. You don't. You can only imagine. All you can do is imagine and say things that don't even exist. That's all you can do.
What does that mean?
It means exactly what it's supposed to mean. That's it.
Lord, man. Tom, I keep trying to be your cheerleader, but it's just so hard when all you care about is baseball and beer.
Max, you're so full of it, dude. You would be a cheerleader.
All right. Listen, I'm going to wrap things up, guys. We got so much to cover. Next week, we're doing 2 movies. Next week, we're doing 2 more Kelly Reichardt movies. Let's continue our conversation next week. The Cutting Room Movie Podcast is brought to you by Christiana Productions and New Media Limited. The show is edited and co-produced by Joseph Schreck and produced by Thomas Detloff and Joe Christiana. We'd also like to thank our associate producer, Jeremy Garcia of Dartboard Cinema. Check out his podcast.
Here's what Max is busy doing. He's busy worrying about what you're doing. He also reports this on Facebook. I love smelling myself after a shower with them. Either your balls will smell like a wood-burning fire. What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude, these body washes are...
Or your ass and armpits will thrust forward the incomparable scent of freshly dried leather. That's what Max is busy. I have no idea.
It's better. It's this body wash, man. This dark amber and mahogany wood body wash I'm using.
It's like, what are you?
So now he's preoccupied. So Tom, he's preoccupied with your happiness with your family and his body wash. That's why he doesn't like that you're happy about your family, because this is what he's contemplating.
My God. You guys have to stop saying that.
I got texts, emails, phone calls from all kinds of friends in my life, other family members that said, I'm so happy for you about this. I posted so much, a couple things on Facebook. Max, nothing. Not even a like from Max, Joe.
I don't understand what's going on, Tom. Now I understand. I didn't understand.
You pick up the phone and you call your friend, Max. You call your friend.
I don't call any of my friends on the phone.
Well, listen to me. I am hurt. Beyond hurt.
Stop it. That's nonsense. I am very happy for you. I'm trying to...
Max, if you were taking a hike with Tom up to a hot springs, would you give him a massage in the hot water?
No.
At the end, when you get to the end?
No, you'd have to earn it.
No, but he would sarcastic. He would insult all of the good things that he's done for the community.
Yeah.
Can I possibly earn something like that, Max?
I love that he's so excited about all this and he hasn't even met these people. That's what kills me. Get excited after you meet these people.
I would warn you against that too, Tom. I think it's great that you do.
You guys are so negative. Stop! I've been surrounded by negativity.
No, I think it's great, man. Be happy, enjoy yourself, Don't set yourself up for a letdown. That's all. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong-headed though.
My mom went to Virginia and spent, a few days with everybody already. And we got good vibes going on here, Joe.
Oh, good.
Watching your mom happy is unbelievable. I'm so happy for your mom because she's such a little sweetie. But she's actually met these people. Right. That's all I'm saying.
So what? So what do you say? She met him. What's going to change with me? I understand.
I mean, Tom, you say I don't give you a like about this family shit on Facebook, but I'll tell you what. I looked at all of those pictures. I even sent you a picture of your stepdad, the guy with the big beard, or whoever he is, with your mom. Right. And I looked at all those pictures, and I'm like, where's Tom? Is he not there? I kept looking and looking and looking, and I didn't find you in the pictures. Had I seen you there, I'm like, hey, there he is. He's reunited with these people.
Yeah, but there are things that I wrote about my experience about having a new family and my happiness for my mom. You did nothing. You didn't even text me and say, hey, this is awesome.
Joe? Because I'm a misanthrope and I hate people. But I do love when people are happy.
Billy even did.
Of course. He's a misanthrope and he hates people, but he loves when people are happy.
You can like us on Facebook at the Cutting Room Movie Podcast, and follow us on Twitter at Cutting Room Podcast at TCRMP1, and you can follow me on Twitter, Thomas Detloff, at TCRM Podcast. Jeff, I got to tell you something real quick, because that family name is Powell. Chris suggested that I change my name to C. Thomas Powell. You can also check out Joe's film work at ChristianaProductions.com.
And in the UK next week, I think April 14th, and at the Exploding Theater Film Festival, Exploding Cinema Film Festival.
What's playing there, Joe? You're doing Meat Cycle?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I know, but they're doing Meat Cycle?
Yeah.
All right, say that again so everybody knows.
Exploding Cinema for all you UK listeners out there.
Also, check out Adam's new show, Starland PC, at starlandpc.com. It looks so funny. I was checking out that website, man. He's got something really cool going on there. Max and Adams, Bowler Hat Productions, and their Mimosa Podcast Show at maxcookinthecounselor.com. And check out Max Cook's blog at maxcookuncork.com. Music from the Cutting Room is done by the Zillatones. Check them out at www.thezillatones.com or search for the Zillatones at ReverbNation.com. We're going to be back next week. More Kelly Reichardt. Old Joy. Meek's Cutoff. Until then, we are over and we are out. Ciao.
Next time to satisfy more of your strange desires. The Cutting Room Movie Podcast. We do chicken right.